If you are over the age of 50 and you drink this every single day, thinking it is good for you, I need you to stop immediately. Because this so-called healthy drink that every wellness influencer on the internet is promoting, that every health magazine is raving about, that your neighbour swears by, is quietly and systematically destroying your kidneys. And by the time you feel the symptoms, by the time your body finally gives you a warning sign, the damage may already be so extensive that it is irreversible. I am not exaggerating. I am not being sensational. I see this in my practice constantly. Patients who thought they were making the healthiest choice possible, who thought they were investing in their longevity, and instead they were slowly poisoning one of the most vital organs in their entire body without the slightest clue. The drink I'm talking about is green smoothies, specifically the kind loaded with large quantities of raw spinach, kale, beet greens, and Swiss chard that have become the obsession of the health and wellness world. Now, before you come after me in the comments, before you tell me I do not know what I'm talking about, let me explain everything. Because this is not about green vegetables being bad for you. Vegetables are wonderful. They are packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fibre. I recommend vegetables to every single one of my patients, but there is something hiding inside certain specific greens, something that accumulates silently and relentlessly, something that your kidneys simply cannot handle in the quantities that modern smoothie culture is delivering, especially as you get older, and almost nobody in the wellness industry is warning you about it because it does not fit the narrative they are selling. The hidden danger is oxalates, oxalic acid, a naturally occurring organic compound found in extremely high concentrations in spinach, kale, beet greens, Swiss chard, rhubarb, and several other plant foods. When you eat these foods in normal, moderate amounts as part of a varied diet, cooked and served on a plate as a side dish, your body can usually manage the oxalates without significant problems. They bind with calcium in your digestive tract during digestion, form small harmless crystals, and pass through your system in your stool without causing any major issues. Your body has mechanisms to handle reasonable amounts of dietary oxalates. It has done so for thousands of years of human evolution. But here is what changes everything. Here is what turns a healthy food into a kidney-destroying weapon. When you throw 2 or 3 giant handfuls of raw spinach and a full cup of raw kale and maybe some beet greens into a high-powered blender and liquefy them into a concentrated green drink, you are doing something that human kidneys were never designed to process. You are flooding your body with a massive, concentrated, rapidly absorbed dose of oxalates that overwhelms your body's ability to handle them. When you eat a plate of cooked spinach with dinner, the oxalates are released slowly during digestion, over hours, giving your body time to manage them. But when you drink a blended smoothie, those oxalates are absorbed into your bloodstream in minutes, not hours. The spike in blood oxalate levels is rapid, severe, and potentially devastating to your kidneys. These oxalates get absorbed through your intestinal wall into your bloodstream. They circulate throughout your body, and eventually they arrive at your kidneys, which are responsible for filtering them out. Inside your kidneys, these circulating oxalates encounter calcium molecules, and when oxalates meet calcium inside the kidney, they bind together to form calcium oxalate crystals. These crystals are not smooth. They are not round. They are sharp. They are jagged. They have pointed edges like tiny shards of broken glass, and they are incredibly destructive to the delicate microscopic structures inside your kidneys. In small, manageable amounts, your kidneys can filter these crystals out and pass them into your urine without significant damage. But when you are dumping enormous quantities of oxalates into your system every single morning through a concentrated green smoothie, your kidneys get completely overwhelmed. The volume of crystals being formed exceeds your kidney's ability to safely process and eliminate them. The crystals start to accumulate inside the kidney. They lodge in the delicate tubules, the tiny channels through which urine flows. They scratch and tear the tubular lining. They create microscopic wounds that trigger an inflammatory response. Your immune system sends white blood cells to the damaged areas, creating more inflammation. Scar tissue begins to form, and scar tissue in the kidney is permanent. It replaces functional kidney tissue with tissue that cannot filter, cannot regulate, cannot do any of the jobs that healthy kidney tissue does. Over weeks and months and years of this daily assault, kidney function begins to measurably decline. And if this continues long enough without intervention, you can develop kidney stones, which are larger aggregations of calcium oxalate crystals that can cause excruciating pain and require medical intervention to remove. You can develop chronic kidney disease, where your kidney function progressively deteriorates to the point where your kidneys can no longer adequately filter your blood. Or in the most severe cases, you can develop acute oxalate nephropathy, which is a sudden catastrophic kidney failure caused by a massive oxalate overload that completely overwhelms and shuts down your kidneys. There are documented medical cases published in peer-reviewed medical journals of people who ended up requiring emergency dialysis because of excessive green smoothie consumption. Dialysis, a machine filtering their blood 3 times a week because their own kidneys could no longer function. From a smoothie they genuinely believed was the healthiest thing they could possibly put in their body. And here is why this is especially dangerous and concerning for seniors. As you age, your kidney function naturally and inevitably declines. This is a normal part of human aging. The kidneys of a 70-year-old, even a perfectly healthy 70-year-old, are operating at significantly reduced capacity compared to when that person was 25 or 30. You have fewer functioning nephrons, your filtration rate is lower, your kidneys have less reserve capacity. They have less ability to handle sudden spikes in oxalate levels or any other toxic load. They are more vulnerable to crystal damage, more vulnerable to inflammation, more vulnerable to scarring. So the exact same green smoothie that a healthy 25-year-old athlete might tolerate without any noticeable issues could be genuinely dangerous, even potentially catastrophic, for someone over 50 or 60 whose kidneys are already operating with diminished reserves. And here is the most terrifying aspect of all of this. Most people have absolutely no idea their kidneys are struggling until the damage is devastatingly advanced. Kidney disease has earned the nickname the silent killer for very good reason. You can lose up to 70% of your total kidney function before you experience a single noticeable symptom. 70%, let that sink in for a moment. That means your kidneys could be more than 2/3 destroyed, more than 2/3 of their functional tissue replaced by scar tissue and non-functioning tissue, before you feel even slightly unwell. By the time you start experiencing the classic symptoms of kidney disease, fatigue, swelling in your legs and ankles, changes in urination patterns, foamy or bubbly urine, persistent nausea, loss of appetite, the damage is already extensive, and much of it is permanent. Now let me be very specific about which greens contain the highest oxalate content, because this is critical knowledge, and not all greens are created equal. The differences are enormous. Spinach is by far the worst offender. It is the king of oxalates in the plant world. A single cup of raw spinach contains approximately 750 milligrams of oxalates. And when you cook spinach down and concentrate it, the levels get even more extreme. 1 cup of cooked spinach can contain well over 1,000 milligrams of oxalates. And here is the reality of how most people make their green smoothies. Most recipes call for 2, 3, sometimes even 4 cups of raw spinach as the base. That means a single morning smoothie can deliver anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 milligrams of oxalates in one concentrated drink. Swiss chard comes in as a close second, with oxalate levels that rival and sometimes even exceed spinach, depending on growing conditions. Beet greens are similarly extremely high. Kale is lower than spinach on a per-cup basis, but still contains significant amounts of oxalates, especially when consumed raw and in the large quantities typical of smoothie recipes. And many people combine multiple high oxalate greens in a single smoothie, stacking spinach with kale with beet greens, creating a concentrated oxalate bomb of truly alarming proportions. For critical context, the recommended maximum daily oxalate intake for people at risk for kidney issues is typically between 40 and 50 milligrams per day. 50 milligrams. And your morning green smoothie is delivering 1,500, 2,000, or even 3,000 milligrams. That is 30 to 60 times the recommended safe limit. In a single glass, before you have even left the house in the morning. Every single day. Now let me tell you about the symptoms and warning signs that might indicate your kidneys are already being damaged by high oxalate intake. I want you to go through this list carefully and be completely honest with yourself about whether you are experiencing any of these. Cloudy or unusually dark urine. This can indicate the presence of calcium oxalate crystals, protein, or other abnormal substances in your urine, all of which are signs that your kidneys are under stress and not filtering properly. Pain or a dull, persistent ache in your lower back or your sides, the area over your kidneys. This can be an early sign of kidney stones forming or kidney tissue inflammation. Frequent urination, especially waking up multiple times during the night to urinate. As kidney function declines, your kidneys lose their ability to concentrate urine efficiently, so they produce a larger volume of more dilute urine, particularly at night. Swelling or puffiness in your ankles, feet, lower legs, or hands, especially in the morning. This edema indicates fluid retention, which happens when your kidneys can no longer properly regulate your body's fluid balance. Unexplained persistent fatigue and brain fog that does not improve with rest. Your kidneys produce a crucial hormone called erythropoietin that stimulates your bone marrow to produce red blood cells. When kidney function drops, erythropoietin production falls, red blood cell production decreases, you develop anemia, and anemia causes crushing fatigue, weakness, and mental sluggishness. Foamy, bubbly, or frothy urine that looks almost like beer foam. This is a telltale sign of protein leaking through your damaged kidney filters into your urine, a condition called proteinuria, and it is a clear marker of significant kidney damage. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms and you have been drinking green smoothies regularly, I am asking you, please, see your doctor as soon as possible and specifically request a comprehensive kidney function panel. This includes a blood test measuring your serum creatinine level and calculating your estimated glomerular filtration rate, commonly abbreviated as eGFR. They should also do a urine test checking for protein and crystals. These are simple, inexpensive, widely available tests that will tell you exactly how well your kidneys are functioning right now. Do not wait. Do not assume these symptoms are just normal aging. Do not dismiss them. Get tested. Now I want to give you practical, actionable solutions, because I absolutely do not want you to stop eating vegetables. Vegetables are essential for your health. They are essential for preventing cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and dozens of other conditions, but you need to consume them in a way that nourishes your body without destroying your kidneys in the process. Solution number 1. Rotate your greens aggressively. Stop using spinach every single day. Stop making it the default base of every smoothie. Instead, alternate between low oxalate greens like romaine lettuce, butter lettuce, iceberg lettuce, arugula, watercress, bok choy, and fresh herbs like cilantro and parsley. These greens contain a tiny fraction of the oxalate content of spinach and are dramatically safer for daily consumption, even in smoothie quantities. Solution number 2. Cook your high oxalate greens before eating them. Cooking, especially boiling in water and then discarding the cooking water, reduces the oxalate content of vegetables by 30 to 50%, or even more. When you boil spinach, a significant portion of the oxalic acid leaches out into the water. By discarding that water, you are throwing away a substantial amount of the oxalates. Steaming removes less, but still provides meaningful reduction. The point is that raw, blended spinach is the absolute worst way to consume high oxalate greens because you are getting the full, undiminished, maximally concentrated oxalate load and absorbing it rapidly. Solution number 3. Pair any high oxalate foods with calcium-rich foods at the same meal. When you consume calcium and oxalates together, the calcium binds with the oxalic acid right there in your digestive tract, in your stomach and intestines, before the oxalates can be absorbed into your bloodstream. The calcium oxalate crystals form harmlessly in your gut and pass through your stool without ever reaching your kidneys. This is a very good thing. So if you are going to eat spinach, eat it alongside cheese, yogurt, milk, or another rich calcium source. This simple pairing strategy dramatically reduces the amount of oxalate that gets absorbed into your bloodstream and subsequently filtered by your kidneys. Solution number 4. Drink substantially more water throughout the day, especially if you consume any high oxalate foods. Adequate hydration is one of the single most important things you can do for kidney health in general. Water dilutes the concentration of oxalates in your urine, making it physically harder for crystals to aggregate and form damaging deposits. It also increases urine flow, which helps flush crystals out before they can lodge in your kidney tissue. Aim for at least 8 to 10 full glasses of water per day, and more if you are consuming any foods with moderate to high oxalate content. Solution number 5. Be aware of your total daily oxalate load and keep it within safe limits. If you are over 50, if you have any personal or family history of kidney stones, if you have any degree of reduced kidney function, or if you have diabetes or high blood pressure, both of which already stress your kidneys, keep your total daily oxalate intake under 50 milligrams. This means significantly reducing or completely eliminating regular consumption of the highest oxalate foods, including raw spinach, Swiss chard, beet greens, rhubarb, starfruit, almonds in large quantities, cashews, dark chocolate, and concentrated beet juice. Solution number 6. Completely overhaul your smoothie recipe. Instead of spinach or kale as your base, switch to cucumber, celery, zucchini, frozen cauliflower, romaine lettuce, or butter lettuce. These vegetables are extremely low in oxalates, blend beautifully into smooth, drinkable textures, and still provide you with a nutrient-dense, vitamin-rich, fiber-containing drink without the kidney-destroying oxalate load. Add some frozen berries, a banana, some protein powder, and a tablespoon of flax or chia seeds. You get a delicious, genuinely healthy smoothie that your kidneys can handle safely every single day. Let me also address several other popular drinks that seniors commonly consume, thinking they are being health conscious, but that can actually place significant stress on the kidneys when consumed excessively. Cranberry juice. Yes, cranberry juice is frequently recommended for urinary tract health, and there is some evidence supporting its use for preventing certain types of urinary tract infections. However, cranberry juice is also very high in oxalates. Drinking large amounts of cranberry juice every single day, especially the concentrated, unsweetened varieties that health enthusiasts favour, can significantly contribute to kidney stone formation and oxalate-related kidney damage. A small glass occasionally as part of a varied diet is perfectly fine. Drinking it by the litre every day is a genuine risk to your kidneys. Iced tea. Black tea is another high oxalate beverage that many people consume in enormous quantities without any awareness of the risk. Particularly in warmer climates, and during summer months, many people drink several large glasses or even pitchers of iced tea throughout the day. There have been well-documented published medical cases of kidney failure directly attributed to excessive iced tea consumption. One particularly notable case involved a man who was drinking roughly a gallon of iced black tea every day and developed complete kidney failure requiring dialysis, caused entirely by the oxalate load from the tea. A cup or two of tea per day is generally safe for healthy kidneys, but treating iced tea as your primary beverage and consuming it in enormous volumes is genuinely dangerous. Beetroot juice. Beetroot juice has gained enormous popularity in recent years for its legitimate blood pressure lowering effects. It contains nitrates that convert to nitric oxide in your body, which relaxes blood vessels and can measurably reduce blood pressure. And those cardiovascular benefits are real and well documented. However, beets are extremely high in oxalates. When you juice beets and drink the concentrated liquid, you are delivering a massive oxalate payload directly to your kidneys. For someone with healthy young kidneys and no history of kidney problems, moderate beetroot juice consumption may be fine. But for seniors, for anyone with compromised kidney function, for anyone with a history of kidney stones, concentrated beetroot juice consumed daily is a genuine and serious risk. The critical theme running through all of these examples is that the dose makes the poison. Every single one of these foods and beverages has genuine documented health benefits when consumed in reasonable moderation as part of a varied, balanced diet. The problem arises when people get caught up in wellness trends and health fads and turn these foods into daily, high-dose habits through juicing, blending, and concentrated supplementation, operating under the deeply flawed assumption that if some is good, more must be better. More is not better when it comes to oxalates. More is potentially devastating. Your kidneys are extraordinary, miraculous organs that deserve your respect and protection. Each kidney contains approximately 1 million tiny, intricate filtering units called nephrons. These nephrons work every second of every day to filter approximately 50 gallons of blood daily, removing waste products, regulating fluid balance, controlling blood pressure, maintaining the precise chemical and electrolyte balance your body requires to function, producing hormones that regulate red blood cell production, and activating vitamin D for bone health. Your kidneys do all of this silently, without complaint, without any conscious input from you. But here is the critical fact that everyone needs to understand. Once nephrons are damaged, they do not regenerate, they do not heal, they do not grow back, they are gone permanently. Every crystal that scratches a nephron, every bit of oxalate-induced inflammation that scars kidney tissue, every tubule that gets blocked and dies, that represents a permanent, irreversible reduction in your kidney function. And once enough nephrons are destroyed, once you have lost enough functional kidney tissue, your kidneys can no longer sustain your body. And the only options at that point are lifetime dialysis, spending 12 to 15 hours every week hooked up to a machine that does what your kidneys can no longer do, or a kidney transplant, which requires finding a compatible donor and taking immunosuppressive drugs for the rest of your life. I do not want that for you. Nobody wants that. And the truly tragic irony that haunts me as a physician is that so many people end up with kidney damage precisely because they were trying to be healthy. They were genuinely trying to do the right thing for their bodies. They saw a green smoothie recipe promoted by a celebrity or an influencer online, someone with 1 million followers and a perfect smile but zero medical training. And they thought, this is going to make me so much healthier. This is going to give me energy. This is going to help me live longer. And instead, day by day, glass by glass, it was making them sicker. It was quietly destroying the very organs they needed most. Knowledge is genuine power when it comes to your health. Now you know the truth about oxalates. Now you understand how they damage your kidneys. Now you know which greens are high risk and which are safe. Now you know how to protect your kidneys while still eating a rich, varied, nutrient-dense, plant-filled diet. Now you know to get tested. Now you have the information you need to make smart, informed choices about what you put in your body. So here is what I want you to do right now, today, before you do anything else. If you have been drinking a daily green smoothie with spinach, kale, Swiss chard, or beet greens as a base, stop. Pause the habit. Switch immediately to low oxalate greens. Schedule an appointment with your doctor and ask specifically for a kidney function panel. Start drinking more water immediately. And please, I'm asking you sincerely, share this video with every single person over 50 that you know, because I guarantee that the vast majority of them have absolutely no idea that their healthy morning smoothie could be slowly, silently, irreversibly destroying their kidneys. Type in the comments whether you drink green smoothies and how frequently. Tell me what greens you use. I genuinely want to know how widespread this habit is among my viewers so I can create more targeted content to help you. And if this video changed your mind about something, if it made you reconsider a habit you thought was healthy, type the word kidneys in the comments so I know this critical information is reaching the people who desperately need to hear it. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell. I am going to keep giving you the unfiltered truth about your health, even when that truth is uncomfortable, even when it contradicts popular trends, even when it challenges what you have been told by people who should know better. Especially then. I will see you in the next video. Protect your kidneys. They are doing more for you every single minute of every single day than you will ever fully appreciate. It is time to return the favour.